This is PlayStation Plus or Minus for February 2018. And last time I gave my thoughts on Rime, so if you missed that one, check it out over here. But today, we're going to talk about Grand Kingdom, which is Vita cross-buy, and Knack. Honestly, there's enough to talk about with Grand Kingdom for it to be worth its own video, but that would leave Knack to try and fill up an entire video all on his own, and okay, look folks, despite the meme value, Knack is barely even worth talking about, and certainly not worth an entire video of my or your time. It calls itself a platforming beat-em-up, which I guess just rolls off the tongue better than walk around hitting square at things-em-up. The hook with Knack is that he can grow or shrink a la Katamari, which sounds cool, except that your size is completely dictated by your progress through the 100% linear levels, and enemies and rooms are always the exact same size relative to Knack himself. So the change in size is completely cosmetic and doesn't change gameplay in the slightest. And the gameplay is, as I said before, a walk around hitting square at things-em-up with no life, color, variety, or challenge. As a launch title way back in 2013, Knack failed to give people a reason to buy the PS4, and it even failed at being a functional game. On my very first playthrough, I got stuck on what looks like the last section of the level and just had to restart. Knack is suitable for very young children and really no one else. And even then, I'm not certain little kids have the patience for a game this boring. Look, Dunkey, I'm sorry, and I swear this isn't a race thing. Knack gets a minus. Okay, so with that out of the way, on to Grand Kingdom. So this one turned out to be quite a surprise. The most complex, expensive, and longest game this month is actually the Vita cross-buy game, Grand Kingdom, a surprisingly unique tactical JRPG. And just so you know where I'm coming from in regards to tactical RPGs like this, I'm not super into RPGs in general, but I tend to enjoy tacticals a lot more than other turn-based RPGs, like Final Fantasy and the like. I'm not saying all JRPGs are bad, but most of them just aren't my thing. But stuff like Valkyria Chronicles, Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, these are the sort of JRPGs I can get into, and Grand Kingdom is no exception. What I like about tactical RPGs over, I don't know what to call them, standard JRPGs, is that tacticals don't waste my time. Or at least the ways in which they try to waste my time can be easily skipped. Like Valkyria Chronicles, Grand Kingdom goes for a mission-based structure, and puts a lot of emphasis on positioning, team composition, and timing. See, unlike your standard JRPG, combat is about more than just picking options from a menu. You actually get to take an active role in combat. This makes things a little too complex at times. Grand Kingdom has one hell of a learning curve, which might turn a lot of people off, and that extends outside of the combat into the map screen, managing equipment, leveling, recruiting new characters. Honestly, the one thing that Grand Kingdom would really benefit from is an optimize button for stuff like items and stats. For example, in Fire Emblem, I don't want to go through my 25 party members and make sure every single one is optimally outfitted with weapons and healing items. The newer Fire Emblems just let you hit a button and the game will equip everyone for you. Grand Kingdom would be way more appealing to me, someone who doesn't really care for management like this, if it had some sort of optimized feature. The most notable gameplay features that I want to talk about are the map screen and timed button presses in combat. The map screen puts a little bit of strategy into just moving around, which I like because it means no random battles. Some battles can be completely avoided with just a little bit of forethought, which I like. Not that there isn't any fun to be had in the battles themselves, thanks to the Mario and Luigi-esque timed button presses during most attacks. Once again, it's this taking an active role in combat that separates tacticals like this from a lot of other, less interesting RPGs. Some moves display an area and a moving reticle, and you need to time your button presses right to get the most hits and also avoid hitting your teammates, since friendly fire is on by default. These kinds of features generally get me more engaged with a game, since I don't feel like things are ever completely out of my control. But speaking of things that are out of my control, the story is practically non-existent from what I can tell. Not that this sort of thing generally appeals to me. It starts in the middle of a battle, and then a defeated nameless enemy soldier just says, "Hey, you want to join our guild and be mercenaries?" And Flint over here is just like, "Hey, sounds good, boss, hey." Voice acting is, well, there's a surprising amount of it for one thing, but it's pretty meh. I'm also disappointed to say that I made a bunch of really stupid names and voices for my squad, but since the game doesn't autosave often enough, I lost them all and didn't feel like making new ones. So my footage is all generic characters that the game made for me. It kept my squad as the Goblins, though, so that's fun, but I miss my main girls, Sneakums, Sonic Girl, and Heel Bitch. It's not that funny. Overall, the tactical nature of Grand Kingdom makes it instantly more appealing to me than your typical JRPG, but the game is often too complex for its own good. There is such a thing as too much customization. The word streamlining must have just been banned at the Grand Kingdom offices. The story is completely perfunctory, I mean there's your vocab word of the day, and the voice acting is... It's kind of terrible, let's be honest here. But despite its flaws, Grand Kingdom's tactical combat is engaging enough for me to recommend, so Grand Kingdom gets a plus. However, do be warned, if you're watching this after February and Grand Kingdom isn't free anymore, Grand Kingdom will actually run you $40, which is pretty steep, so unless you're really into this kind of thing, I wouldn't really recommend it for that price. Anyway, that is going to do it for February 2018. With this marks an entire year that I've been doing this series, which is cool. I started it back in February 2017 with Little Big Planet 3, and it's come quite a ways since then, I think. I hope to keep doing it, and if you guys want to keep watching, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, etc., all that YouTube stuff, you know what to do. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.